Welcome to No Fun Channel. I'm Felix. In fact, I had quite a few things going on. I've been working on my second book, two books at once, my graphic novel and another book I'm writing. The one is not a graphic novel. Kind of hit a couple roadblocks on it. I had in my head this story, but it was bits and pieces. I had like a beginning, middle, end, but I didn't have the stuff in between. So that's what I'm working out right now. And today I made a pork butt that was incredibly delicious. I almost ate it all by myself. I took white vinegar, rubbed it on there, and then I took salt, pepper, garlic, and seasonal. And I went heavy on the seasonal. Coated it almost like a rub, putting a rub on it, coated it all over. Then rubbed it all in and then wrapped it in 2 layers of foil and put it in the refrigerator for a couple hours. And then leaving it in the foil, threw it in the oven for an hour and then unwrapped it and left it in the pan for the rest of the time. Flipping it, I think it took 3 hours to cook altogether. Flipping it almost, I wouldn't say every half hour, but I was flipping it close to it. And when it was all said and done, it was juicy. It was delicious. Even the little pieces that like broke off when I was cutting it apart, I was nibbling on those. It was delicious. It was good. And now I want to go and make another one. Normally when we get the pork butts, we just throw them in a crock pot. And, I'm glad I did something different with it because it really paid off. So I'm definitely going to try that again. I cook with vinegar on pork a lot, actually because of Elton Brown. If you know who he is, he's a chef. He used to have a show on the Food Network. I don't know if he still has one on there or not. But yeah, that's where I first came across him, was the Food Network. I can't remember the name of that show he had, but he would do like facts about food and different things like that on it. Some of the stuff he cooked, I didn't agree with him when he was cooking it. And I still don't cook the way he suggested cooking stuff. Because I remember he did fried chicken and he didn't season the flour. And he said, it just burns off. Well, I've always seasoned my flour. I still season my flour and it doesn't burn off for me. So I don't know what was going on there. But, yeah, that pork butt was good. It was, oh man, there are times I'll make something and it's just like, wow, I need to write that recipe down. This one was a simple recipe, so I'll be able to remember it. One time I made some ribs that were so good, I was drinking the grease out of the pan. It was so good. I cooked them in the oven and I thought I had the recipe. Turns out I didn't. I remember what went in it, but I couldn't remember the portions. And I could never recreate it. I come close. But the only thing my wife remembers, the most important ingredient, was orange juice. But I think it depends on the brand of orange juice too. And I don't remember what brand it was originally. I want to say it was Minute Maid. It could have been Sunny Delight. No, at that time I don't think I was drinking Sunny Delight anymore. It was probably Minute Maid. And it was pulp free because I don't do pulp. So that much we remember. Molasses, salt, pepper, garlic, my 3 staples. I think when I made those ribs, I was just going crazy, putting stuff in there, and I slow cooked them. And they were coming off the bones so good. I wish I could recreate that or time travel and watch myself, like videotape myself making it. That was before everyone started videotaping everything with their cell phones. I wish these cell phones were around back then. I would have been videotaping myself. It was awesome. But get back on track. Last week I was going to do the Who Am I with ShxtsnGigs, and they ended up having a guest on, but they do have a new video out, and they did do it this time, so I am going to play along. Now, I did not watch it. Actually, I haven't watched any of the video. I skipped straight to the timestamp on the video so I could play along. And I want to see. Now, here's what's going to happen is I am not going to get any of it. It's going to turn around, and I'm just not going to get any of it. And it's going to be like, well, that was fun. So let me switch over to them. All right, let me switch over to ShxtsnGigs and let's play Who Am I? So let's see how this goes. I'm predicting I'm not going to get this one this time. So, all right. I'm actually a little nervous that I'm recording this. Because all the others I was getting, and now I'm not getting it. So, we'll see. All right.
It is time for Who Am I, okay? So, people seem to be enjoying it. I'm happy that people are enjoying this one. So again, guys, if it's your first time here, Who Am I is the segment in which I embody someone. It could be a celebrity. It could be a figure of history. It could be a fictional character. It could be someone in this room. It could be myself. It could be anyone. Okay? So we've got 3 chapters. Each chapter is less cryptic than the last. So it should get easier as the chapters go. You guys know the rules. After each chapter, you will have a chance to guess who am I. You are not allowed to say, I think it might be this character from this thing, or it sounds like it might be this. Just say a name or charge. Cool?
Cool.
Right. This one's an interesting one. Okay. Who am I? I was born into a very powerful and famous family. I was destined for amazing things. Even though the majority of my family loved and cared for me, there was one member that was jealous and resentful, and he wanted to make sure my potential was never going to be realized. A scheme was hatched, and I was stolen from my family and forced into a life unbefitting of my name. Nevertheless, I was still loved by my new family, and I was determined to reclaim my seat at the big boy table. End of chapter 1. Right.
That sounds so familiar. Probably not what I'm thinking. Because I'm thinking Man in Iron Mask. But why does that sound familiar? It's probably Game of Thrones or someone from Game of Thrones or something. Oh man, I knew this was going to happen. It finally happened. I can't get on the first try. I don't know this one, but it sounds familiar, the whole scenario. All right, here we go.
Right. Any formal guesses?
No.
Okay. No formal guesses. Right. Chapter 2. As I grew up, my talents spoke for themselves, and I had made a name for myself as a supernaturally gifted individual. I tried my best to be a good man and aimed to help others less gifted than myself. During my teens, I had finally reunited with my biological father, and he explained to me that if I wanted to return to my station, I now had to prove to him and to the world that I belonged there by becoming the man I was always destined to be. End of chapter 2.
It still sounds familiar. I'm going to hate myself when I hear the answer. I'm trying to think. Reunited with his dad. Dad says you got to prove yourself. All right.
Are you invincible?
Good guess, no.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
On to chapter 3? Okay, on to chapter 3. I spent years training and earning the respect of my community with my heroic deeds, but that still wasn't enough to earn my place back at the table. As my fame grew, my jealous uncle had heard of my feats and set a new plan to ruin me once more. He laid a trap to use the woman that I loved as a pawn in his scheme.
Hercules! Oh my God, it just dawned on me. Hercules, Disney's Hercules. I knew that sounded familiar. Okay, I got this one. All right. I got it for the rest of them. All right. It just dawned on me. All right. Because Hercules, I can't remember the female's character's name, but yeah. Okay. Yeah. The uncle is Hades. So, cause I knew that all sounds familiar. Okay. I'm so proud of myself.
He knew that for her, I would sacrifice anything in the world, even my place amongst the gods. Lo and behold, his plan backfired, and this sacrifice was the exact thing I needed to return home to my family, high amongst the clouds on the great Mount Olympus.
Hercules?
Hercules. I am Hercules.
I never would have got that.
Swear.
Nah, Greek mythology. Took me a minute. But
I never would have got
I was
that.
gonna, as soon as you said, or you were getting there, I was thinking of Hercules, but I was thinking Zeus, but it can't be Zeus. You're thinking of the sun, but yeah.
Zeus
Fair.
is
All right. So, yeah, I got that one. Took me all 3 tries. Just from the first clue, I was thinking, well, I think it was the way he did the first clue. I'm thinking rich family. That's what I was thinking first. But yeah, that one got me. But so definitely the last 2. So let's see. The first one I got on the first try. The next one I got the next one on the first try. And then the third one I got on the second try. So this one's the third try. So that means I probably won't get the next one. So yeah. So that was fun. I might keep doing that as long as they're doing it, because I did have fun doing that. So hopefully they don't mind me joining in on the fun there. But that was interesting. But yeah, when he was talking about it, I'm like, why does that sound familiar? But if you think about it, it's like a plot to a lot of things. So, but then the second thing, it was like even more. But then when he's talking about my uncle and the woman I love, it was like Hercules, Disney's Hercules. That's what it was. So yeah. So if he keeps doing celebrity stuff, and I'm sinking in my chair again. I really got to invest in a chair, because I use this chair for work too. But yeah, the Hercules, that's the first time I had to go all the way to the third try. So that was interesting. Oh man. But there was something oh yeah, there was a TikTok I saw. This woman got on and was talking about she was pretty much asked to leave because of the odor. And they really didn't specify the odor. They just said people are complaining about the odor. And people in the comments, and even her, were talking about, oh, aren't we supposed to smell when we go to the gym? You know, when you're working out, you start stinking. And I was thinking, not necessarily. If you put deodorant on, you really shouldn't actually smell, actually, if you got deodorant. Now, if you put the wrong deodorant on, because some deodorants are not all deodorants are equal. So there's that. But yeah, when I saw that TikTok, I was just like, that's debatable, to be honest with you. And then there was another TikTok, this woman, now I've seen a couple people react to this one, where the woman was talking about the guy went through all the steps to find out what she liked, what she wanted to do, on the first date. And she was so, she was out there, and I don't know what the hell she was expecting, to be honest with you. It was so weird. It was like, and the comments were just tearing her a new one. And she's talking about, oh, he didn't reply no more. It's like, you showed the receipts of him being the last one to reply. What the hell do you mean he didn't reply? He replied last. He was confirming the date. He was confirming what you wanted. Because he asked her, is there a place you like, and stuff like that. And he was just confirming everything. And she talking about how not to plan a date. It's like, you're single and I see why. It's like, wow, you're so single, and she'll probably be single for a long time. But yeah, there were so many people going after her on that, and so many people stitching it. A lot of those, some of those, what do they call them, men's advocacy people, or men's mental health people. There's a name for it. I know some people will say, you mean the pick me people? It's like, yeah, maybe some of them are, but not all of them. But yeah, it was just like, part of me was like, God, I hope that was a skit, because that was just horrible. But the problem is, you see so many people like that on the internet, and they're dead serious. It's like, are you kidding me? You got to be kidding me. You can't be this serious. And they're dead serious. They're posting that stuff. Because there was one where, and again, I hope it was a joke, but the girl showed her boyfriend her booger chair, and he dumped her. Let me tell you something. If you show me your booger chair, and it's a chair I've sat in, and maybe I put my hands under it and touched it, and, maybe I'm thinking, oh, it's a nail or a staple or something on the chair. And then you flip it over and say it's your booger chair, yeah, I'm out the door. I'm gone. Because my first thought is, what if you smeared elsewhere as well? Booger chair. There's a lot of boogers under there too. It's like, get some tissues. Invest in some tissues. Come on. Get some cheap toilet paper or something. Cheap tissue, toilet paper, paper towels, something. God, it was gross. That's something a child would do. And this is supposed to be a grown woman. She like she was in her 20s. It's like, you're supposed to be an adult now. That's just gross. And now part of me is wondering, does she have a poop chair? Oh, that reminds me of 600 Pound. For a while, me and my wife were binge watching them on HBO Max. And, oh God, it was gross. This is brother and sister. They had bathroom chairs. When I say bathroom chairs, I mean like just a regular like kitchen chair, table chair. It was like had the like cloth top, and they peed down through the chair. They would do their business on the chair and have a bag or bucket or underneath it to catch it as it fell through the chair. Because they couldn't get in the bathroom. I was screaming at the TV when I saw that. I was like, oh, that's gross. That's so effing gross. That's so gross. Oh, I was screaming. I was mad. I wanted to go to the TV and smack them. I was like, no, they have chairs you can buy. They even have them for really big people. You can buy a chair that's actually designed for that. What the hell are you doing? That's gross. That's so freaking gross. That's, oh my God. Wow. But yeah, it's, I actually haven't watched 600 Pounds in a long time, but, just thinking about it was gross. There is so much. Like, I didn't realize how addicted I was to TikTok. Actually, I did realize it, but I guess the first step in addiction is when you got one. But yeah, I think I'm on there just to be on there. And sometimes I'll come across something that's interesting. Sometimes I don't. But, yeah, it's, oh man. But yeah, and when it comes to relationship stuff on TikTok, you got to take that with a grain of salt. Because I'll be honest with you, a lot of it I think is fake. They just do it for attention. Now, there was the engagement, the boyfriend or now fiance tried to tell her to dress up nice. We're going someplace, and she's like, "You're not going to tell me how to dress." And she wore jeans and like a button-up shirt and stuff. But in the video, he wasn't dressed up that nice either. So that's why I'm calling the shenanigans on that one. It might have been real, but he wasn't dressed up that nice. It'd been different if he had been dressed up nice and she wasn't. Unless he decided not to dress up nice because of her, because she was like, I'm not dressing up nice. So, but I also wonder if that's really true. If she purposely didn't dress nice simply because he asked her to dress nice, just based on that, I probably would have ran. It was like, the one time I asked you to dress nice because I'm, trying to do something, and your thing is to argue with me. If someone asked me to dress nice, my first thought was going, how come? And if they say, oh, I just need you to dress nice, I'm going to be suspicious, thinking, okay, they're trying to plan something, they're thinking of something, and I'm going to probably dress nice. Now, if it turns out we're going off road, we're going mudding or something like that, then I'm going to be pissed. But yeah, I'm going to think, okay, they're trying to do something. They need me to dress nice because they want me to be presentable. And then they get dressed and you see them dressed all up nice. Now, that's why I said that. That's why I was a little suspicious of that one. Did he wait for her to get dressed and then went and got dressed? Or was that what he was wearing the whole time when he asked her to dress nice? Because if that's the case, then yeah, I wouldn't have got dressed nice either. It's like, but you're wearing that and you want me to dress nice? Something's up. So, yeah. So that's what I'm saying. There's something off about that one. But, and again, like I said, a lot of them are fake. They just do it for attention. Like the Reddit stories. a lot of them are so rage bait and fake. Now, a lot of people are saying AI wrote them, but AI didn't write all those. I've seen what AI writes, and first off, when people talk about AI wrote it, how do you know AI wrote it? Because you can't actually run it through an AI program. A lot of those AI programs will say that stuff I wrote is AI. They'll say Stephen King stuff is AI, because it's actually not that accurate when you run it through that program. That's like the professor who ran people's assignments through the AI filter. And one person was like, no, I did this. I did the work. And the AI didn't do this for me. And there's ways around that AI stuff. Also, those AI testing things. Trust me, there is. But that's why I don't get why people do that. Like why they think if they run it through these filters. Because because I don't think there's anything official to run it through right now. And so you can't just randomly pick one and run it through there, because unless it's actually calibrated to pick that stuff up, it's not going to pick it up. So it's going to say everything's AI generated. And the problem with that is like I said, it's not calibrated for it. So yeah, if that had been me in that class and he was like, everyone gets an F, I'd be like, yeah, you're about to get an F. Well, meet you out in the parking lot. So because I did the work and you're going to give me the grade I earned. Or I'm going to earn some stripes. So you might want to reconsider. But yeah, it's strange out there. AI, online dating device that sucks. It's a whole new world. I was playing my word game. Like I stated before, I'm a horrible speller. But I was playing my word game, and all of a sudden there was this word, and I was able to spell it. Like, oh wow, that was a word I've never been able to spell. So I don't know if I'm getting better at spelling, or just because I had all the words there, all the letters there, so I could see the word, so I knew how to spell it. If I had to spell it on my own, I probably couldn't. But yeah, I've been having fun playing it. I don't know why. I just love word games. I just have a lot of fun with it. And I just wish that a lot of those ads that they have for mobile games were real. That would be awesome. I would just go nuts on those games. So with my Instagram, with my online presence, I've been trying to do some more things. I realized I was slacking on the TikTok side because I was trying to do like 1 minute quick take, because I was doing 1 minute so I could post it on the YouTube Shorts and TikTok. And yeah, I think I'm coming up short on doing that. But I'm trying. Like one thing I've been doing is, I personally haven't seen it, is reviews of YouTube channels. So I started doing it. I've done one, and I'm working on another one now. So see how that goes. Now that's just going to be a short series, because I'm not going to hunt down other YouTube channels if I don't follow that YouTube channel. I'm not going to hunt down YouTube channels just to review them. This is just YouTube channels I actually watch on a regular basis. What's funny, I won't cover all the YouTube channels I'm subscribed to because I don't watch them. There's a couple I may still recommend simply because I personally got bored with them, but they're still around. They still do the same thing. I think that's why I got bored with them. They do the same thing over and over and over. In the beginning, it was interesting, and after a while, you lose interest. So that's probably why I went from doing reviews to doing the podcast now. But the podcast is something I've always wanted to do. So yeah, I was just thinking about the book. Oh, at lunchtime today, I was just in my own thoughts. And I actually came up with a great ending for the book. One of the characters was going to be at the end giving a speech. And I wrote this incredible speech in my head. And then when I went to go, I tried to narrate it into my phone, could not remember any part of the speech except for the very last few words. And so now when I redo the speech or try to create another one, those last few words don't fit anymore. It's like, it was so fitting. Everything fit together perfectly. I hate when I do that. I will come up with something great, like the story right now. I'll come up with some great ideas. Then, like, I've been trying to scratch them down or talk to my phone and get them recorded. And then when I go to write it down or on a scrap piece of paper or to record it on my phone, it's completely goes. I botch it. It's like I gotta type it at that moment. So it's like, oh. So I've been trying not to think about the book in that sense to where I come up with stuff. So that way I can come up with something right then and there. But I was so mad at myself too. It was awesome. It was an awesome speech. It's definitely one that people would have remembered. It was definitely something that would have stood out about the book. It would have brought everything together for the book. It's like, and right now, the start of this new book, I'm almost tempted to start over, but the beginning does fit in order to go on to the rest of the story, which is interesting because my first book was just from the start, things are happening. This one had to have some backstory to explain some things. So that's what happens in the first chapter. And the first chapter is not that long. Actually, I think it's only like 5 pages. I gotta go back. It's not even that long of a. What do I even call it? Would I call it like an introduction or something? But in the second chapter, the name I gave it doesn't fit for the second chapter, so I'm gonna go rename it. And after this, I'm definitely gonna go sit and work on it to see if I can come up with some stuff. And if I come up with the ending again, I'm gonna type it out right then and there. Just skip to the next page and start typing. Like this will be the last page. So be part of the last thing. Yeah, it was maddening to lose that speech. And I kept trying to recreate it in my head. I remembered a few things here and there, but overall that speech is gone. That's like when I used to come up with songs in my head. And I don't write down songs like I used to. I used to write down songs and I don't do it anymore. But there are times I've come up with a song and like, and it's like, whoa, that's actually good beat that I got going in my head. The words work. And then I try to write it down and it gets butchered. Like, why is it getting butchered? And I know partly why it's getting butchered is like, I'm trying to fix it as I write it when I should just write it down, then go back and try to fix it. So I have the kind of mind where it knows, okay, that doesn't really work. Let's go ahead and fix it. But then I fix that and it changes everything else. So I need to just write it all down and then go back and see how to fix it to where it fits into everything else instead of fixing it a section at a time. So that's probably why I can't remember the speech, because to me it was good. I even remember popping up like, I need to record that. And I don't know if my brain started trying to correct some things. It was just like, come back. That was good. That was some good writing right there. It's like, oh man. Now it wasn't like the whole ending. I'm still on the ending of this story. I'm still trying to figure out some things. Like my first book, I changed a lot of it. And I think I mainly changed a lot of it because I shortened it from what I wanted to do. And I kind of regret that. But, get the first one out the way, move on to the next one. And this one, I am taking a little more time. I probably won't get it done until next year. But yeah, I'm working on it. So we'll see. Who knows? Maybe I got some time coming off. I'll definitely work on it then. And I'm just going to hammer out some couple chapters and see what happens. I mean, I don't have the time coming off till a couple weeks. 2 weeks maybe? But I'm definitely working on it. I'm trying to get this one. I'm taking my time, typing it up. I'm just still so mad about that ending. But I've been trying to come up with something new. Because the ending is like there were some trials, there were some things that went on, and this person gives a speech, it ties everything together, it lets everyone know everything's going to be okay. It's time to heal. It's time to regroup. It's time to move forward. And it's like, it was probably about because I don't know how long I was sitting there thinking about this speech when I may have been sitting there for at least a minute or two. It was a pretty long speech. And that's probably why I can't remember it. That's one of those things just off the top of my head I came up with. I can do that. I can come up with whole stories in my head. I can actually create whole stories from start to finish. And it just angers me. Like I just watched He-Man Revolution, and I noticed some things. They included elements from all the He-Mans, it seemed like. And I'm serious, like they included elements from all the He-Mans. They did the ponytail He-Man. They did the characters from the Masters of the Universe He-Man. When I say Masters of the Universe, I meant the movie. They had characters from the movie in this one. They had characters from other He-Man adaptations in this one. It was very interesting. They included a lot of characters, if you weren't paying attention, that were from other things. But now I wonder if they're going to do the She-Ra storyline different. So they're going to do I think they're going to introduce She-Ra in the next one. So I think that'll be interesting. This one was only 5 episodes. I wish it was longer, but it wasn't. But they got their point across. It was pretty interesting. But yeah, the point why I brought that up is after I watched it, I was talking about if I could introduce a character into it that would throw a monkey wrench into some things that they were doing. It's just, I would add some mischief to it. I can input myself into a lot of stories I watch, and sometimes I'm a character that's just there to mess things up. Sometimes I'm a character to point out some obvious things, like you do know she's laughing in the corner over there after you agree to her plan. She's going to betray you. You can hear her laughing. That's what the person just said. And you're like, no, it's okay. You're an idiot. That's what I'm just going to say. So, yeah, there's definitely times where I watch a story and I could think of a better way to do it. And a lot of times I don't like characters that much that are overpowered either when I watch stuff. Man, that's probably one of the reasons I'm not a huge fan of a lot of animes. Especially animes where the character's been killed off and reincarnated in another world and suddenly they're OP. I think that is so played out right now. I really think they need to get away from that. Why not have the character who's not OP, but helps the OP character or something, or something where just something different. Like I have an idea for a manga. I think I brought this up, but I have an idea for a manga. I haven't started on it. What was funny though, I had some papers that I wrote down titles of stuff, and in my head I had the titles. I knew what these titles stood for. And the book I'm working on right now, I originally had called it Humanity, but I changed the name of it to Intelligent Life. And there's a reason I changed the name to Intelligent Life instead of Humanity, is because it just sounded better, to be honest with you. But it also fits better with the story that I'm telling. And then there was one, what was it? What did I call it? I got the paper over here. I'm trying to look at it real quick. Broken Reality. And that fits in with the manga, actually. I wrote a little description of what it was supposed to be about, and I was like, that fits into the manga I was thinking of. That fits perfectly. And I was like, so that one, that's where I came up with the other one. So yeah, I think it'll be interesting. Then, what was it? There was another one. Let me just grab it here. There was another one. Yeah, I had this was the original list, a little yellow piece of paper here. And then I rewrote it. It was writing little things with it. And I found this list by accident. I had put them up, and then I had to go hunting for something, and I found them. And I was like, Yeah, I remember all these. And I think I'm going to try and go back and do some of these. Some of them I'm going to let go. Like I had one called Cameron. And I don't even know why I chose that name. But it's supposed to be about a superhero. He's not a superhero. He's he has superpowers, let's put it that way. And he doesn't use his powers for good, he doesn't use it for evil. He uses them to fly back and forth to work. He works in a call center. But he does get caught up in stuff, and he's like, I'm good. But yeah, it's basically gonna, not so much the reluctant hero, he's the refuse to be a hero and you can't make me type person. But I was going to have some things happen to where he didn't have a choice. And hilarity ensues. That one I may not do. Because that one for me was all over the place when I think back about it. There was one, I dubbed it, I called it The Fictional Life of Felix. And then I actually started typing that one up not too long ago. And I called it My Fictional Life. And as I'm typing it, it's not coming to me. I remember bits and pieces of it, but I think that one also ties into what I call Broken Reality, which is now the manga. So, yeah, I don't know. It's weird how it evolved. And then I had one, what do I call it? I don't remember what this one was about. I called it Moto City. It wasn't about cars. I think there is a cartoon called Moto City or Motor City, but mine was about, that one actually drew a complete blank. I don't remember it. I didn't write a synopsis little thing about it either, so I have no idea what that was about. But then I had one I called The Queen. I probably won't do that one either. So if someone hears this one, you come up with something awesome. But that one was actually based on a drawing I did. I started creating a story in my head, but I couldn't flesh it out. I couldn't get it going. Basically, just for the description, all I wrote was, she is a queen who rules with an iron fist. Her cruelty is only rivaled by her intellect and her beauty. So she is supposed to be someone who's truly cruel leader, and she manipulates people and stuff, and just for whatever reason I couldn't flesh it out in my head, the story for it. Motor City I don't remember. Oh, this tied into that too. I forgot about that. That's what that was. The Fictional Life and My Fictional Life. Okay, that's actually I may have to go back to that story now. I got it coming together. It's a common story. It's basically a nice guy who decides to stop being nice. And I think the reason I was going with fictional life is because it's just like he's tired of being this person. He's tired of being a pushover, tired of people walking over. So it's just going to start having things happen to him, and instead of doing what he would normally do, he decides to go against it, and hilarity ensues. And then there's one more that I'll throw out there if anyone comes up with something for it. I guess technically there is something out there. What's that one with David Tennant where he's an angel and a devil or something? Mine was called The Rules of Evil. And again, couldn't flesh it out. I couldn't get it worked out in my head. But basically, the only thing I put for it, even evil has rules it must follow. So it was basically, oh, you know what? It kind of reminded me of some Reddit stories that I've heard recently about hell and Satan and stuff. Like, it's not what you think. Like, this kind of deal. Like, humanity got it wrong. And you discover there's a reason there is no hell on earth, because there's rules they got to follow. Yeah. But that's as far as I got with it. I couldn't get a story to it. I couldn't get a story around it. I think that would have been an interesting story if I could have got to work. And there is one. I didn't like the name of it. I call it Suit of Armor, and basically it's fantasy sci-fi combination, like a suit of armor. These people were in war, they no longer need it, and so they discard the suits of armor and the people that wore them, and they come back for revenge type of deal. Like I said, that one's not original, but I think I came up with that one when I was watching something actually. But yeah, that one didn't really come together either. I had some ideas for it, but in the title I didn't really like. Suit of Armor. So, what are you gonna do? But yeah, some of these I definitely might go back and try, and not right now. I'm gonna stay focused on the one that I have. I'm just thinking back to that speech. I wish I could remember that speech because this speech was killer. Hopefully I'll come up with something just as equal, so we'll see. But yeah, I'm actually still shocked at myself for putting a book out there, and now I'm working on a second one. The graphic novel I haven't gone back to, so I can't really say I'm working on it. So technically I'm only working on 2 books. No, technically I'm only working on 1 book. But I'm getting there. I got my sketch. Oh man, I'm saying a lot. But oh my God, there I go again. I had my sketchbook and I was going to try to sketch in it, and I never did. I have been up late working on my book, and so the next day I'm so wore out that I don't sketch. I need to force myself to sit down and sketch and get going again. But yeah, I'm trying not to, but I used to have a program I used to view GIFs so I could see the layers of what they did to make it move. I don't remember what program it was. And then I had access to Photoshop through the school I went to, and of course school's over, so I lost access. But then my little brain went, don't you have an old Photoshop? And I was like, yes, I do. It's Photoshop Elements 7. That tells you how old it is. And I installed it, and it works just fine, and I'm able to access the GIFs. What's funny is I don't understand why Clip Studio cannot access GIFs. It never made sense to me. You can make GIFs, but you can't open GIFs. That makes no sense whatsoever. But it is what it is. But yeah, so I got my old Photoshop. Definitely not all the bells and whistles that the new Photoshop has. I was looking at see if there was Elements still out there. There was a version of Elements still out there. I think there was even a 2024 version coming out or something. But I thought they got rid of Photoshop Elements because there's different versions of Photoshop for all kinds of stuff. Because it was like the cheaper version of Photoshop, like a stripped down version. So I thought they got rid of that one. But I guess it's still out there. So I was looking to see if there was like what the newest version was that was cheap, like under $100, so I could buy off of Amazon. But I couldn't find it anywhere. So I'll use the one I got and see how that works out. I remember when I bought that because I wasn't the program. When I bought it, it was actually out of date because I bought it at Walmart, and I think Elements 9 was coming out when I got my hands on it, and it was like in the bargain bin at Walmart, so I bought it. But yeah, you really can't buy software like that anymore when you go to the stores. I can't remember last time I saw like Photoshop for sale at Walmart like that. I may have to look next time I go. We'll see if I see any. If I do, maybe I'll grab it. But yeah, it was interesting. When I installed it, I swear to you, my brain was like, please install. And then I keep getting a message about updating. And so I was like, all right, I'll click the update, see what happens. Nothing. It would not update. It says page not found. So it's like, of course. Why are you giving me the message to update when I can't update you? Stop it. But yeah, it's so yeah, that lifted my spirits because there were some GIFs I wanted to look at and practice my animation with. So now I can. So I can see how many frames I did. And oh, that's something that just popped in my head talking about the animation. I have an animation of a woman walking. And I think I'm going to use it and put Reddit stories over it to get people's attention. So I think that'll be interesting. But yeah, it should be interesting. It's like 10 frames in a cycle. Actually, I traced it. I did some rotoscoping on it, and I discovered I can shrink it down to 10 frames. Like when I first did it, I picked all the even frames, and it looks fine. I picked all the odd frames. It looks fine. It's like, I want to say almost 50 frames. And I did cut it down to 25 frames. Then I cut it down all the way to 10 frames. And even with 10 frames, it looks fine. Now, if I do all 50 frames, it's definitely, you can tell it's rotoscope. But I might just finish that animation and put it as the background. Because they always have like Subway Surfer or I think Roblox or something going on. And so I'll put that and start posting Reddit stories. Now, in one thing, and something I did, I talked about why do YouTubers have more than one channel. But in this case, I may create a separate channel on YouTube for that and a separate TikTok just to see and start posting Reddit stories. Now, I may actually go to Reddit and get the stories myself and not the ones on TikTok, simply because the ones on TikTok have been altered. A lot of the stories have been altered, and sometimes if you hear again, you'll hear that it's been altered again. I talked about that before. It's like, why are you altering it? You're making it worse. It'd be different if they added to it, if they made it better, but they're not. They're not making it better. They're making it worse. So it's like, stop it. Just stop it, you monsters. But yeah, it's definitely something. It's definitely something I've been thinking about. I have some different animations that I did. There's a couple of them I could go back and finish and just put in a cycle. Like I got the walk cycle. There's one of a girl twerking. I could do that one. Just have her twerking and put the stuff over it. So that's something to think about. That's something I might actually do. Hey, now maybe that'll get me motivated to do my animation. There we go. I can do the girl twerking. I'll have the words coming up. I'll probably definitely do the words on the screen just so no one can steal the animation. Well, technically, I stole the animation, so I guess it doesn't matter. Because I just thought the girl twerking was also rotoscope. And that one I didn't finish. No, wait, no, the one twerking, that was photo manipulation. I actually took a girl and I just like moved her. I was able to Photoshop her butt moving up and down, and it did look like she was twerking. So I was playing around with photo manipulation. There was a couple there's a couple I can't ever show. My evil laugh. Oh, that reminds me. I used to do Photoshop some different things, some naughty pictures for fun. I used to post them. And the main reason I did it is because I wanted to see how realistic I could get it to look. And some of them were very damn good. You could not tell. And others, you had some questions. And some were the ones that got to the point where I was just like, that's when I knew I was burned out on doing it. I did it mainly for fun and stuff like that. And it really helped with my skills when it came to photo manipulation. But I haven't done that in a long time. So it's like, so I lost all that skill. What's funny is I was going through my hard drive and I found the folder. I was like, oh, I forgot all about that. And before I was going to delete the folder, I haven't touched that folder in years. I'm talking years. So I was like, I looked through it. I was like, oh yeah, I remember some of these. And I started, I actually got on Google and was doing image searches to see. And I got a hit on a few of the models themselves, the people I was using. But I got a hit on some of the ones I manipulated. I was like, that's awesome. They're out there still. Even though the site I go to, I deleted my access. And so as a result, the photos went with it. But yeah, deleted it. I deleted the folder, got rid of it because like I don't want it anymore. I don't do that anymore. And I mean, I could have kept it as reference photos, some of it, but you got to understand some of it. But I guess I got so many reference. I need to go through because I do have a huge library of reference photos that I really don't use half the time. I need to go through and maybe categorize them better so that way I can have them go to them better. Because I had like pictures of women, men. What else did I have? I didn't have children. I'll be honest, I was scared to have children. I was like, because people might get the wrong idea. It's like, no, it's a reference photo. For the love of God, there's nothing wrong with that. There's just kids playing. That's it. It's like, definitely don't want that getting taken the wrong way. But yeah, because there was like a picture of a ballerina. It was a really nice picture. And I almost downloaded it. I was like, oh, but it's a kid. And I know people are going to, if something were to happen, someone might get the wrong idea. So, but it was a really nice picture. It was like really well lit. It was in focus and out of focus type of deal. It was just a really good picture. And there are times I'll see pictures like that. And it's like, but I can see how someone can misinterpret it. So, yeah. Because I'm always one of those people like, yeah, watch, I'll download the photo, save it to the file called child or kid or something. And then next thing I know, it's like, you downloaded that photo. She's dancing in a ballet. Get over it. And you never know. People are stupid sometimes. But on the other hand, I can understand where some people are coming from. Not everyone. But yeah. You know, I don't know why I was so paranoid because that was years ago. But yeah, I used to be really paranoid about this stuff on the internet. I was always cautious about where I went, what I did, simply because you never know. You click on the wrong thing, next thing you know, it's game over. Like, but they're not doing anything. Well, it doesn't matter. It's like, I'm going to delete that out. I do have a lot of reference photos, just for drawing, and I need to go through them and categorize them better. I really do. I have a huge reference. It's like a couple of gigs large, and half the time I don't even go to. I just end up going to Google because it's faster because they're not categorized. I think if I had them better categorized, I definitely would use it more. Decided to take a look because I thought I did categorize them. I did, but it's not complete. Okay, I see what I did. I still have some photos. I still have some reference. I don't know how many people have thought of this, but the best reference photos. Oh, I still have the girl twerking. So I thought I deleted that one. I don't know how many people thought about this, but to me, the best reference photos are actually on adult sites because they're in some odd poses sometimes. There are some weird poses. Now, this one is not from an adult site. This is actually an ad for something. Let me see if I can share it here. Let's show you. I don't remember what ad it's from. But that was a reference photo. I was looking for a woman kicking, and that came up, and it's a good photo. And yes, she's showing some stuff. But overall, it was what I was looking for. Like, I was looking for a woman kicking and doing it like a knee move, and that's what came up. But yeah, I don't know if anyone's thought about that. Like, I'm sure I'm not the only one that's thought of it. But reference photos from adult sites, or using adult sites as reference photos, and sometimes you'll come across like ads. There were some ads I saw, like that one. Oh, I didn't realize how small that picture was. Like, I was looking for a fit woman, and that popped up, and that was actually from an ad. So it's like, okay. And so there's little things here and there. And as I said, now that's entirely your preference if you want to go to a site like that. Overall, yeah, I mean, like I said, there's a lot of resource there. And one day I was trying to think of something and that popped in my head. I was like, I bet you I could find it there. And I did. I found what I was looking for. And some sites, a lot of sites have photo galleries. And it was just like, okay, yeah, that's what I'm looking for. And so I found what I was looking for. The woman posing a certain way, woman doing this, a man doing this, a man doing that. Now, of course, some of the man photos, I didn't need to see everything, but they had the pose I was looking for. I tried to type it into using Google, and I forget what other search engine I was using at the time. Probably Yahoo. Now, there was something else I was using, but I tried to recreate it, or not recreate, but I tried to search for it, and I couldn't find it. I come close, but I was like, no. I tried to use the reference photos that they had, and I just couldn't get the angle. It was like, it was still the wrong angle. Then I decided to check out the adult sites, and every single time I was finding it, it was like, that's what I'm looking for. That's the angle. That's the pose. And not all the photos on there are, them in the buff. There's plenty of photos with them with clothes on, and those are a lot of the ones I was using actually, because, like I said, I didn't necessarily need to see them in the buff. But yeah, it was just like, yeah, that's what I'm looking for. What was the one? There was a photo. I was looking for a photo of a girl like leaning, and I couldn't describe it, and it was on the site. It was on the site, and I was like, okay, that works. Because I was trying to draw different angles, and on these different adult sites, it worked. They had all the angles, like I said. They had them pose. Some of them actually have a lot of models on there, actually. And what I mean by models, I don't mean like necessarily like the well-known models on TV and the media, but just models trying to get recognized. But yeah, it's I'll be honest, it surprised me how good of a resource that was. So if you're an artist and if you got a VPN, turn that sucker on, check out the sites and see what you can find, because definitely helped me out a lot when it came to drawing and trying to draw like full figure, the whole body in different angles and doing different things. I won't lie, I did not mind seeing the women fully in the buff. But, I stayed focused. That wasn't my main goal for being there. So yeah, it gave me a lot of inspiration. But yeah, I ended up drawing a lot of different things because of it. I have like folders full of different poses, different angles. And it's just, none of it, well, some of it are nude model poses. So you can look at it that way too, like, drawing nude models. And I think that's actually what got me to think to go check that out. It's like nude models. When you go to an art class, they eventually have a nude model or something. Some of those art classes. I don't think they do it in art. I think that was more a TV gimmick, but like going to an art class, this is going to be a nude model. I don't know if they do that in TV shows anymore like that, but yeah, there was definitely a lot of poses. Like there was an image of a woman in water, which I think was actually an artist pose. An artist did that, but it wound up on the adult site, and I was like, how come that didn't come up? Because I actually was looking for a woman standing in water in a certain way, and on the search engines it didn't pop up, but on the adult site it popped up. It was like, that's what I'm looking for. That's reflection, everything. It was perfect. And so yeah, so that's something you might want to consider, because you never know. You might stumble across what you're looking for and not even realize it. I'm just looking at some of the drawings I've done. so I used to be able to draw pretty good. And there's one, I was trying to go for like a realistic look and feel. I almost got it, but then it was like, I lost it. Let me see here. Because I was trying to recreate a drawing or a picture I saw, but I couldn't get the belly button right. Some of these, maybe I'll try and go back and redo them and see if I can get it now. Because there's some that's just like, oh, I could do that. Oh, that's another thing. Light on skin or moisture on skin, and I do mean moisture, not other stuff. Unless you're looking for that to learn how to draw that or something. But I mean, like just having wet skin, adult sites are actually a good place for that as well. I'm advocating for adult sites, go figure. But yeah, you can. It's like I said, it's an awesome resource. Wet skin, odd angles, weird poses. If you're looking for two bodies embracing, you're definitely going to find it on there. Just a male or female standing around doing something. And like I said, they're not always in the buff. There's a lot of them with clothes on. For instance, like let's say you're trying to draw, say, a woman in her underwear, a woman in a bra or something, or a woman in a swimsuit, and you're just not getting it. And you try to look for it. I know if you turn off the safe search, you're definitely going to find some stuff. But let's say even with the safe search off, you still can't find it for some reason. It's still not popping up. And there's no rhyme or reason why it's not popping up. And, there's no rhyme or reason, but yet you cannot find it. So the question becomes, why can't you find it? What's going on that you can't find that pose you're looking for? Why can't you find that one particular pose? And then you go and, all of a sudden it's there. Because I can't explain it. It's a good resource. Like I said, I'm sure I'm not the first to come up with it. I won't be the last. But yeah, there's like, maybe I should have kept that folder because I do have a lot of photos. So I still have a lot of photos, and a lot of them are women in like swimsuits and bra and underwear because I was trying to draw the chest a certain way and I just couldn't get it. Like I could see it, but I couldn't see it. And so when I actually saw it, I was like, okay, I was half right on how to draw it, so now I'm going to go back and do it correctly. So it was kind of like that. It's like, and even with the underwear, like how the underwear fits on the body, you think it would fit one way, but the reality is it fits another way. It was things like that. Like you would think, well, how difficult could that be, But you'd be surprised how difficult that really is because you think you see it all the time, but then unless you have that type of memory where you can recall it with crystal clarity, sometimes you need that reference photo. You need that reference image to see it. Because like clothing, any type of clothing, depending on how tight it is, will leave indentations in the skin. It will push the skin a certain way. It doesn't matter if you're skinny or fat, but like the skin is like pushing on. I can't see it there, but like you push on it, and how does the fat or the muscle wrap around the clothing, the fabric? So it's like there's little things like that, and adult sites have all that on it. So like I have a photo here, like this, like it's going around her waist. She has a band going around her waist, and I'm not going to show you because it'll definitely get flagged. But it, like the fat of her waist, like the hips and her butt, it goes and then indents and it comes back out. A lot of times, a lot of people wouldn't draw the indentation. They wouldn't think to do that. And there's also like indentations on her posterior where the clothes have left their mark because they're obviously too small. But yeah, so there's little things like that. And sometimes just doing a Google search, those little things are going to pop up. So yeah, so it was interesting going through my reference photos, going through everything and realizing I do have a lot of reference photos. I just need to get them categorized, get them better put together. I even had some cartoons. Yeah, I had like a whole DC folder actually, with Superman and all that. Actually, I won't say DC. It was DC and Marvel, different comic books and stuff. And I used those as reference. And I used them, a lot of the black and white drawings, I'd also use those to practice inking. It's amazing all the stuff I used to do that I don't do anymore. Like I said, I have a bad habit of putting my stuff to the side, and now, like, there was this drawing of Cyclops on a cover of a comic book, and I removed the logo and all that stuff around him and the price tag because I wanted to see if I could do it without you being able to tell. I did a really good job, and I even had some more elements where some words were, because it looked like the image had like a reflection and it kind of sparkled off into the background, but the words over top of it hid that. And I did find the original where it didn't have that on it, and it really was what I thought. I actually got pretty close to recreating it to the original. I was like, so great minds think alike. So I thought that was interesting how close I got to it. And there was a lot of reference photos. A lot of these photos I used. Oh, sorry, I just got distracted. I've been looking for side shots of faces. Like, again, I got a ton right here. Not using it. I definitely need to go through this folder. How big is this art folder I created? I said it was a couple gigs. It is, still calculating, 38.9 gigabytes. So yeah, so there is plenty of material right here. I need to start going through it and using it. I even have like 3D models. Where did I get these 3D models from? Well, pictures of 3D. Oh, I did a Google search on an image I had in one of my reference photos, and there's an updated version of it. Let me see if that one I'll show you. Let me pull it up here, find it real quick. This photo here, I had got it as a reference photo because of the angles and everything, and I did a Google search on it, and there's some updated images of it. Let me see if I can get it to pull up again. Where was it? Okay, let me switch back over. So, like right here and right here, two of them. So like, oh, thank God. I just realized I clicked on it without knowing what was going to, thought I had to blur this out. Yeah, there's like an updated version of it right here. And what was the other one? Is that the same one? It looks like they darkened around it. Yeah, they darkened around it. But yeah, so there's that. So it's like, oh, is that a person actually? Is that someone posing for it? That looks like there's some. I don't think that's a person, is it? Suicide. See, I don't know anything about this character. I'm assuming it must be from some. I found it a long time ago. I didn't know anything about it. I thought it was an interesting picture, but to see these images, I was just like, oh, there she is. I thought that was pretty cool. And I feel like there was another one. I could have sworn there was another one. What was weird is this original picture, I don't see it. Was it on there? Let me pull it back up. Now I'm curious. Did it? Nope, not on there. Let's check this one out. Nope, not on there. Yeah, I don't see this one. Like, is this one also with it? I think I just pulled these up because they had green hair. But yeah, I thought it was interesting to see the updated. Well, actually, like I said, I found this a long time ago. These two could have been out there this whole time and I didn't know it. But yeah, I just thought it was really interesting. But yeah, I did do an image search on something else, and it showed me some. Oh yeah, the Clip Studio stuff. Back to Clip Studio, they had a lot of demo stuff. And I found my Clip Studio. I should do a video on just that Clip Studio, the demo stuff. But yeah, there was I did image searches and got a lot of hits, and some of them are actual doing stuff like with their characters they had. And I've had these things for a long time, so it was really interesting to see all these people still out there doing their thing. So yeah, I think it was really. So I'm glad I kept this stuff, but now part of me kind of regrets deleting the other stuff. But it was just like I didn't need it, so that's what my brain was thinking. I think I was just trying to clean house and stuff I didn't need. But yeah, I think it's interesting when I do that image search and I get a hit. But it was even more interesting to get a hit on my stuff, which I thought was hilarious. Right now I'm doing image search to see if I get a hit on any of these. And what's weird is I'm not really getting a hit. Some of these can't even find anymore? So yeah, I have a lot of reference photos. I just need to start using them. I downloaded them on purpose so I wouldn't have to search for them, and then here I'm not using them. So I got plenty of material to refer back to and use. I even have pictures of The Rock because I had to pick a celebrity to do a 3D ZBrush model of when I was in school, and I picked him. And I even found like a 3D model that someone else did. It was trying to kind of match theirs, but theirs I saw things that were off that weren't right. Now that's not to say mine was better than theirs. Theirs was awesome, but there were some things that I was just like, something's not right. So, like I said, I just need to go back and use these reference photos. I got tons of them. I even have GIFs. Like I'd had a GIF of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I forget which one it is running. And I traced over top of it so I could practice drawing a running character, basically doing the ninja run, or as a lot of people call it, the Naruto run. So yeah, I think it's interesting doing that with GIFs, is going over them, seeing how they move, even when they have a live person in a GIF. The main reason I want to see how many frames it was, and then sometimes I'll try to break it down to see which frames are really necessary. Now with the live action ones, it's a little harder. But with the animated ones, you can separate out and get the frames. I think I will do the Reddit thing with the animation. I could have, I could use one of my running animations, just have them running. I was practicing like trying to draw the character running between things, like and zooming in, and I did that with another running character that I downloaded the GIF and practiced recreating it and had it running between trees, and I would zoom in on the character running and have the camera follow them. I actually had fun doing that. So I may not get that detailed with it, but I may go and recreate a running character and just have it running, have the walking character. I'll create a couple different ones and just have it going. All right. I think that's going to be it for today. I think next week I'm going to find a topic. I think that would help a lot. I didn't have a lot to talk about today, but I did have my list looking at it, and there was a lot on that list that I do need to delete because it's not something I'm going to come back to. So that would definitely drop it down to probably about 15 items. So I need to come up and add to that list again. I can add art. There we go. That's something I actually do like talking about sometimes. So maybe I'll add art on there. Art, technology, sometimes cars, not so much. I might still add cars on there. Yeah, so let me add to my list. But for now, thank you guys for listening. That's my take on this and that. You guys take care.